Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I had a local tournament for the official Play Pokemon series, and this was a local challenge. So up to 15 points for the winner to add to their championship points towards their qualification to World Championships. It's my second tournament. I didn't do so well in the first one, but this time around I really thought about my team and I decided to bring a Carbink Mandibus core, and this team was killer. So we're gonna go into the battles and showcase kind of how I played out some of these. Because we had over 20 people, this was actually a 5-round Swiss tournament. What that means is everyone plays 5 rounds, and the top 8 players out of their top records will make it into a single elimination playoff to determine who the winner is. So let's get into it. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. To kick things off, we're going against one of my opponents, Grateful Dad, who actually this is his first ever Show 6 tournament, so really cool to see newer players get into this. He actually came up to LA from San Diego with his son on his son's birthday, so both him and his son competed, which is really cool to see. All right, so looking at his team, I talked to him a bit about it afterward as well, but the team is pretty strong overall, but a little bit weak to Medicham Safe Swap, and luckily I catch a pretty solid lead, so I just stayed in, and then now catching the energy on a Regiseal. I'm going to go straight away with the Drill Run. I am running the Shadow Claw variant on my Lone Sandslash, really for this matchup and the Lantern matchup. Yeah, I'm a little bit worse into Lickitung and Umbreon, but that's fine in my opinion. We do shield up the Focus Blast. I'm going to charge up to maximum energy because if he shields this, I have another Drill Run. Chooses not to. And then now I'm going to pivot over to my Mandibus again. And we force out the Gligar, which is nice. And we get the shield. So I don't know what moveset his Medicham is running, but I just didn't want to stay in that matchup. And especially if there's like a Frostlass in the back. This Gligar's much lower on health now, so I can chip it down or finish it off with the Lone Sandslash, get a decent amount of energy, and then now I'm going to tank this move, probably farm up one more just to get to the Ice Punch. Yeah, barely survive it, but we do. Probably a little bit risky of a play on my end, but I just want to ensure that I have a move ready in the back. We do get defensively dropped, but we have our Psychic, and we're able to finish off the Medicham. I decided to run Psychic on my Medicham as well because my team is a little bit soft to Medicham, and I don't really need the hard check of Dynamic Punch for Regiseal and Umbreon Lickitung, in my opinion. So I decided to go with Psychic, and then this time around, not the best lead, but we don't get debuff, which is definitely a little bit lucky on my end. And again, Safe Swap Medicham is just super safe. And I draw out his Medicham, which is perfect because now my Lone Sandslash is in much better spots. We do grab a shield too, which is nice, and then expends the energy on the Psychic. We saw the Power Punch on the first game, so I'm just going to farm up as much energy as possible. Extra energy on Mandibus could be pretty useful in the back end. It's not a great matchup versus Regiseal, but we do still have 2 shields, so if needed, we can be good. And then he actually pivots over with the Regiseal, which is really nice. And then we're going to shield up the Focus Blast, but this puts us in a pretty good spot, I think. I'm going to throw right before the next Focus Blast is reached. I don't really want to have to shield again because I haven't seen what's in the back yet. The Medicham is pretty low, but you never know. All right, and it ends up being a Swampert, which is nice because we get to the Drill Run first, and then we can just swap over, go for the combo play, actually. Drill Run still does quite a bit of damage. And yeah, I mean, we already saw the Medicham earlier, so we're going to end right there. So 2-0 on the first game, pretty solid. And then now we are going into Dreflames, who did top cut at Sacramento, and just a player that's been around for quite a while. So he's running a really spicy team. I mean, it's not even the Shadow Charizard or the Toxapex, it's the Heliolisk. That's pretty spicy. And then I was baiting a potential Dynamic Punch. I run Dynamic Punch a lot in a lot of my tournaments and in GBL. So I figured a lot of people, especially in these tournaments that know me, would expect it, and that's exactly what he thought at the time. But that's also why I baited with Ice Punch, because at this point in time, he still doesn't know that I don't have Dynamic Punch. It's still possible I do, and I'll just bait him with Ice Punch. He does hit me with the Sludge Wave. This Toxapex is pretty annoying, but we come in with the Medicham, and we go straight for the Psychic, and this is where we reveal it. And he already spent a shield, so I figured he's not going to spend a shield either way, even if it was Psychic, but now he sees it. And we're in an interesting spot here. I decided to come in with Carbink, because looking at the backside of his team, especially up a shield, I'm pretty good into anything, even if it's a Medicham, and it's going to be a Medicham. My team overall is a little bit soft to Medicham, so I understand that I am not the strongest into it, so getting energy lead on my Carbink is pretty nice. He throws a Psychic, which... I'll tell you all later. I do end up forgetting about that part. But we get off another Moonblast, which is pretty nice. And then we're able to snarl down. And we have a ton of energy on this Mana Buzz. That is plenty enough to finish off the Lickitung. Mana Buzz actually ended up being really good for me. I ran it last month. I didn't do so well. I didn't even make the playoffs, actually. Again, didn't even get past the Swiss rounds. But paired up with Carbink was actually really good, and it's such a core breaker. Like, look at this, right? So he leads Lickitung, comes in Medicham. Obviously, Medicham's not his hard counter to my Mana Buzz. Likely in the back, he probably has a Toxapex, Umbreon, or Heliolisk. Either way, my Medicham is in a pretty good spot, so I'm just gonna, just stay in here, do what I can, see what happens. There's another Ice Punch, but I'm just going to start spamming away. He either goes down on shield, or I still maintain switch advantage. And he comes back in with Lickitung, and then I pivot straight over to the Carbink. I figured at this point in time, the Medicham's out of the way. Carbink has a lot of play into the rest of the team. The best check is probably that Toxapex, but we just get it out of the way. Toxapex is actually pretty tough for me, especially if I don't bring my Alolan Sandslash. And I chose not to because, again, I'm already weak to Medicham, so I don't want to bring another target for it. But the whole point here is we're just going to whittle this down as much as possible. And then we end up getting to another Rock Slide before he throws. He said it during the game too. He just miscounted. But this puts us in a pretty good spot. We get a Dark Pulse off, which is nice, and we're still up 2 shields, so that's pretty huge for me. So I'm in a pretty good spot. I do have to save 1 shield for the Toxapex, so I'm gonna shield this one. I think I was losing track of counters. Possible it could have been a Power Whip. We're gonna throw an Ice Punch though, and just take this out. I just don't want to be in Poison Jab range. Here comes a Brine, which is fine, and then we get to the Ice Punch. Which not enough to finish off, but we CMP, and if it's another Brine, we're okay. And yeah, able to finish off. So finish off round number 2 against Dreflames, and then now we're battling against EightTheGreat. EightTheGreat beat me last month, so I definitely want a little bit of redemption, but also running a Carbink. And if you look at the CP of my Carbink, it's like 1481, so obviously not completely finished. He's running Dynamic Punch, which is good to know. I could potentially flip this matchup though, especially because he threw Dynamic Punch, so he has spent a lot of energy as long as I spend shields. He ends up spending shields himself, and then we CMP on this move. Ends up throwing out Ice Punch, so we live it to get another Body Slam off, which is quite nice. Another reason why I'm running Lickitung over Umbreon is a better Medicham matchup. So we come away with some energy, and here comes a Lantern. I thought I was in the clear, but then I realized it's Water Gun Lantern, which is much worse for me. And I'm not sure about this move. I end up shielding the Surf, and I don't throw the Drill Run, which honestly, I probably should have. I end up not throwing it, and here comes a Carbink, which honestly, if you play Carbink enough, you know this is actually not the worst matchup. 2 Drill Runs just not enough. And my Carbink, like I said, 1481. I powered up as much as I can. This is actually a Best Buddy Carbink, so I can't power up any further. I just have to wait for my Best Buddy to finish off before I could run it. But yeah, we're going to try to get to double Rock Slide. I think it's a better play than Moonblast. Unfortunately, get outpaced. So maybe if I threw a Drill Run at the Lantern earlier, we'd be in a good spot. But he did a great job of swapping out there at time. I should just threw it anyway. Doesn't matter if he catches, right? Because it's still the move of choice. Alright, so going to game number 2. Probably superior for the Carbink and honestly for the Lantern. Definitely a little tough into the Dragonair and the Charizard, but that being said, we get the Frenzy Plants shielded. I end up double shielding. I'm not really sure if this is the play or not, but I end up shielding twice, and then I know I outpaced this move, and did he catch? No, he didn't catch. Okay, I'm thinking of a different game. All right, and then here comes Shadow Dragonair, and then he comes in with the Carbink. So this is not too bad for me because I have my Carbink in the back for the dragon. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm in a good spot. Yes, I'm down a shield, but I should be okay. Moonblast does hurt quite a bit though, and super effective power whip, just not that much damage in this Carbink. It's solid, but I'm still losing this matchup in the 0 shields. And then we come in with the Superior. Yeah, I don't know if that was a play or not, but anyway, we now come in with the Carbink. Shields, or my shields are still down. He still has 1 extra shield, so I can't really go for the rock throw. So I either get to double rock throw or I just fast move it down. It looks like I don't get to double rock throw, and these Aqua Tails are really adding up. Maybe if I had to finish my Carbink, it'd be better, but just barely. Yeah, could not be able to finish it off. So we do take our first loss, and again, Swiss, so we're still going to play all 5 rounds. So I think we're 2-1 at this point in time. So this is going to be our 4th match against Boomerbrhel, who was top cut in Fresno, and also beat me last month in our local. So definitely a solid trainer, and you can see even calling the Dark Pulse, the Aerial Ace baits. I'm going to just shield this as well. I don't really have a great play. And then here comes the Gligar. So not too bad, Shadow Gligar. My shields are down, but this is definitely the matchup I want. So let's see if we can maintain switch advantage or not. Really trying to go for these optimized timings. And we do get to another Aerial Ace. So we have to get all shields on Boomerbrhel's side, or yeah, or we're in a good spot. So here comes the Frostlass. Now we have the alignment we want. He is going to throw a move, and it's going to be Avalanche. And then coming in with a Medicham. Those a move at like, I think 7 counters, so I was a little confused. Ends up being Power Punch. So this is a little scary. I just go straight for the Moonblast. I didn't know if it was worth baiting. No debuff, but boosted Psychics is really going to hurt. He ended up running Ice Punch Power Punch instead though. So that's actually honestly the perfect moveset for me in this specific situation, because any other moveset I'd be probably in a pretty tough spot. That being said, we get the defense drop too, which is huge, and then I throw an Ice Punch. Came in and caught on the Frostlass, but I probably had to throw it anyway because I don't think I could have countered down. And now we swap over and we catch Power Punch, and Carbink just has a little bit too much health left on my end. So able to still take it. Could have been a little scary if it was Power Punch Psychic Medicham, but the moveset did work favorably for me. Now we already saw the moveset, so might as well yeah, see where this goes, and ends up yeah, so we know it's not going to be Psychic either way. Goes for the Power Punch, and then does shield the Psychic. I probably could have done the Psychic sooner, because in case I get a defense drop, I guess I'm, harder hitting counters afterward. Either way though, we go straight for the second Psychic, and yeah, at this point I wasn't sure if he was going to bait Power Punch or not, so I didn't want to shield one. Ends up going Ice Punch. So I already know I don't have the best matchup for Frostlass, for this Carbink in the back. I'm going to expend it. Shield advantage. Mandibuzz pretty much beats everything on his team, so I figure I was in a good spot. He actually has a Lickitung in the back. I thought it was going to be a Superior, but this is going to be really good for me. And then we have the Mandibuzz with a shield advantage against Frostlass, which is going to be really, really good for me. I'll go straight away for the Dark Pulse, and yeah, I mean, it's just my lose condition is if I bait and he no shields. So we're going to shield everything up here, and then just Lickitung, and just does not have enough power to take out both the Mandibuzz and the Carbink. Probably could have snarled down, but honestly, I wasn't taking any chances at that point. I'm just going to play as safe as possible. There's nothing left, so he can't catch anything either. But yeah, we're in a pretty good spot, and yeah, Carbink Mandibuzz, just super bulky and able to, just power through a lot, muscle through a lot of matchups. If you look at my team from this month, it was straight bulk on all sides outside that Alolan Sandslash. But yeah, even Dreflames was commenting about it earlier. He's like, dude, you have a bulky team. So we're going against our friend Gucci Gain, top cut from San Diego. Definitely very talented battler as well. I'm telling you, these local cups in LA are no joke. And this is just for 15 points on championship points. But this is the Swiss round. I'm not even playoff rounds yet. We're facing numerous top tier trainers. All right, great catch on the Lickitung. But we're going to come in with our own Lickitung at this point. And he does go for a Power Whip first, a little bit more damage. Probably ensuring that he gets that off now instead of later. And probably now just going straight Body Slam. We're going to just keep like some extra energy in case he comes in with the Medicham. But yeah, I'm going to have to start throwing these Body Slams pretty soon. And here comes an Alolan Sandslash, actually. I end up not throwing a move, so I'm going to have to shield the Ice Punch. But I think the energy is going to be pretty valuable. And now we go for the counter down, which is definitely really nice. And we get a full countdown. At this point, there's not a lot of health on this Pokemon, so I'm just gonna go straight Ice Punch. Like I'm not even gonna go for the Psychic. I figured if he doesn't shield, he's just like in fast move range. So that's why I just keep going for these moves right away. And it looks like he goes for Ice Punch as well. My Switch Timer's up soon, so I think I'm gonna swap out. I don't want to get countered down, and then I go for a combo play actually with the Mana Buzz. Does get shielded. And I could tank this, yeah. I could definitely tank this. And then we get to another Aerial Ace. I'm going to throw it, not trying to optimize, because the counter damage, honestly, is quite a bit. And we managed to get the Dark Pulse off, which is huge. Because I need to chunk this Lickitung a little bit. It has a decent amount of health left. But we have back-to-back Body Slams here, and we still have a shield, so we're in a good spot. Yeah, so able to come away with that. The alignment against Alolan Sandslash into my Medicham was definitely fortunate for me. I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't bring it again, which is why I lead Mana Buzz with the Serperior in the back. It was a Shadow Claw Sandslash, so at least a little bit better in that respect. We run into a fantastic lead, Serperior into Mana Buzz, and then Mana Buzz again, just a Core Breaker. Core breaks the Medicham, the Lickitung, and the Serperior, so giving me just a lot of play. And in an era where there's just not a lot of Registeel, I think it's really, really solid in this current meta. I thought it was last month, and I was wrong, but I doubled down and it worked out. So I ended up coming Serperior instead of Lickitung because I was a little worried that he had the Alolan Sandslash in back. And if I came in my own Lickitung, I'm just screwed against it. There's always a chance he has a Lantern in the back instead, right? He's obviously running something that's a hard check to my Mana Buzz. I just didn't know which one it was. And so that's why I decided to come in with my Serperior. Also, I get some decent damage against his Serperior too. Or he shows his third. Alright, we're just going to farm as much as possible and see where this goes. And yeah, it does have the Lantern. So a little bit harder of a matchup for me because, the super effective Power Whips, but we have 2 shields apiece. So could be a little dicey. And he does bait me with the Surf, which is going to be a little, it's going to be less damage than that Thunderbolts. But we do get a bait back. And I think my play here is just go straight Power Whip. And, hope he doesn't shield one of these. He does end up double shielding, so shields are all the way down on both sides. He goes for another Surf and catches a Power Whip on his Lickitung. So a huge catch by him, actually. Yeah, really great catch. So I'm a little bit panicking right now. And I think he's going for a Surf here because I'm just like so low on health. That being said, we go for hopefully double Dark Pulse should be enough. I'm not even going to optimize at this point. I'm just going to throw these. I don't want to take too much damage. Serpier's still in the back. And timer's coming up too, which is pretty rough. I think this Aerial Ace does knock me out. I wasn't sure how much health I had left, but we were able to finish it off with Licks. So we go 4-1 in the 5-round Swiss. We're going to single elimination playoffs now. So top 8 ranked players, and I was in that category. We go against pakubreath, who first tournament ever, I believe. And honestly, doing really well. I mean, obviously making it into the playoffs, so definitely doing quite well. Charm, Shadow Alolan Ninetales is definitely a problem for my team. It's not like I have some checks, but it is definitely pretty strong into that Mana Buzz and Medicham that I've been relying a lot on. However, something I learned is, especially playing GBL, is Carbink not too bad into Shadow Alolan Sandslash. If you could land a 1 Rock Slide, you're in a really good spot. We also land a Moonblast, which is huge. I think he is going for a double Charm strategy, which I think is very, very solid, especially looking at my team. Like, you could Charm through maybe even the Alolan Sandslash. So I'm going to let this first one go. I don't know if I optimized it or not. I was trying to, but might have lagged or just mistimed it. Every Charm is going to hurt quite a bit. But we get off another one, and this is going to get a little dicey because there's still a decent amount of health on this thing, and I'm probably going to try to go for a counter down. I don't know. But these charms are really adding up, and I have to throw the Psychic because I don't want to take any extra damage. I can't really counter down this Medicham, and we barely win. I get the 2-turn priority over the 3-turn charm. You can barely see the health on my Medicham, so super close battle to kick things off. And then now we have a pretty solid lead. It just depends on what moves are being thrown on each side and how shields are used. I'm just going to go straight for the Power Whip. Because if, again, you look at the teams, like a lot of teams are just weak to Carbink. There's really no hard check on Paku's team. So I brought it again. I'm just going to throw the Body Slam this time around. And here comes a Medicham Safe Swap. I don't know what this is going to be, so I haven't seen the moveset yet. It is going to be Psychic, and I think I just want to whittle this down. I'm thinking that maybe this Shadow Alone Ninetales in the back again, but we do get a bait, which is nice, and then we get off a Psychic to land, which is huge. Do I shield this? I think I do. Yeah, I shield because I was worried that it's going to be Alone Ninetales, and I just don't want to get like 2 shield charm down, right? And then now I have hard pivot over to my Carbink, and we saw in the first game Carbink's not that bad into Shadow Alone Sandslash. I mean, you would think it's bad, right? But neutral rock damage versus super effective Drill Run, Carbink just outbulks. Yeah, one of these Drill Runs are going to hurt, but it's not even half my health, and then we're going to get to the next rock side, which is good to knock out. Yeah, so Carbink. It wasn't just a bench pressure Pokemon in this tournament. It actually worked. And then we get to... I didn't want to get countered down, so we do come in and get the Ice Punch off and able to win. Yeah, so narrow victory for sure. And big shout out to Paku for coming out to their first tournament. Going against C2U. 2-time top cut in Fresno, top cut in Sacramento, the most recent regional, and was running that Lurantis. I believe the CT was undefeated as well in the Swiss bracket, so undefeated this whole tournament so far. Undefeated in last tournament, actually, the last regional, last local too. So definitely top tier trainer and running that spice of Lurantis. But again, we have a great core breaker setup. Mana Buzz in the lead. Mana Buzz leading into Lickitung and the Medicham in the back. And a lot of people running Dynamic Punch, so I just swap in my own Medicham. Even Psychic's not a big deal. But I know that I get a ton of value into his Lickitung too, if he comes back in with it. He obviously doesn't know I don't have Dynamic Punch. We are in the era of no team sheets at the moment. But I just want to chip this down. And I have my own Lickitung in the back. It's pretty solid against everything in the back end. Powder Snow Alone Ninetales might be a problem, and that's exactly what it is. But we have a shield advantage, and we land the Dark Bolts, which is crucial. That is actually huge for me because it allows my lick damage to really add up, and I could just, the Body Slams are just closing in on KO range at this point. He does throw the Ice Punch, 2 Ice Punch baits, which is definitely smart. And this is probably going to be a Drill Run. But either way, it's fine. And then we throw the Body Slam. It is caught. But, yeah. And then we come in with the Mana Buzz. And, yeah, we get to the Aerial Ice. He had to Powder Snow me down to have a chance because my Lickitung has so much health left. So, we do take the first game, which is nice. A lot of people, even though I think this is the first person I've seen that has Sableye, but Sableye is really hard to bring to my team, so I figured I could. My Medicham is pretty free overall, and yeah, he does shield this first Frenzy Plant. I'm gonna go straight Aerial Ace at this point because the Vine are adding up, and this allows me to potentially outpace on this move, and I think I shield. Yeah, I was a little worried about Switch Advantage for whatever reason. Maybe in case there is a Sableye in the back, but, I had to play. I know it's pretty unlikely. He catches on a Lantern, which is huge. Huge catch. You don't typically catch swapping your Lantern on a grass Pokemon, but what a great move by CTU. And he does shield the Power Whip. So that is something. It is another Water Gun Lantern too, and I'm pretty sure this is just a Surf, so we're going to no shield and go straight for another Power Whip. And it's going to do a good chunk. Shield advantage. Medicham should be solid. I'm going to let this move go. Obviously, if it's a Sableye in the back, I just straight up lose. I have no health on anything else. But ends up being a Lickitung, which is perfect. Again, Sableye hard wall by the Carbink, and they're just really strong matchups with both the Manabuzz and Lickitung. It just scares off all Sableyes. We haven't really seen any, I think, besides C2 anyway. But that was pretty much our own lose con, and able to finish it off. All right, so we are 2-0 in the playoffs, and this is the finals. I get a rematch against Dreflames. And yeah, this is when I had a brain farm moment, because for some reason I thought he had Dynamic Punch, even though he revealed the Psychic, and I was like, wait, okay, he has Psychic, so forgot about that. I thought he had Dynamic Punch, which is why I thought it was going to be a good spot. And then we both go for a catch. Unfortunately, neither of us catch anything because we both kind of had the same idea. I thought about catching it on my Lickitung, but I was just scared that if I catch it and he has his own Lickitung, he could just swap in later and just maintain switch advantage. So I catch it on Carbink instead. Carbink honestly pretty strong into Steam anyway, so I felt like it's a pretty solid safe swap either way. And he does throw the Power Whip. Carbink though, just out bulking. And again, mine's not even fully powered up. I'm going to hard swap over though, because I don't really want to get hit by anything. He does throw an Ice Punch bait, which is a little uncomfortable. And then comes in with the Toxapex. So saves out quite a bit of energy on his Medicham. He still has 2-to-1 shield. This is actually really tough for me because Toxapex is pretty bulky. But let's not forget, I still have energy on my Medicham, so I just want to put this close to Psychic range. But honestly, I need to get the shields too. So we do shield a Sludge Wave. Toxapex just outbulks my Manabuzz and my Lickitung, so it's actually a really solid pick, and it beats the Carbink. My only real answer to it is Alolan Sandslash, but it just felt a little too hard to bring. We make a huge catch though. I had to time this well, but just went off a field. He was definitely over the amount of energy. He talked about it too during the game. He's like, wait, like I was already at 100 energy. I thought you were going to go for the catch, but... and then we get the CMP, which is huge for me. He does still have a move sort on the Medicham, but Lickitung with a decent amount of health, able to finish it off. Lickitung, honestly, it's so strong in this meta, and for good reason. I mean, just look at that. It's just like against Medicham, it's just so strong, and everyone has Medicham for the most part. All right, he brings a Heliolisk finally into my team. I knew I had Grass Knot, but I thought for the most part I'm in a pretty good matchup, so I'm not going to shield, even if I went for Grass Knot. And he ends up shielding. So I'm like, all right. Well, I'm just going to finish it off with a Medicham. Oh, no, I didn't have Medicham, actually, so maybe not in the best spot here. I figured the Toxapex somewhere in the back with the Medicham, so I wasn't sure if I really want to... I don't know. I just didn't know where my Carbink was going to go at that point. And so here comes the Medicham. I have a shield advantage. I'm thinking, maybe in a good spot. Obviously, this can't be a Power Punch. I'm going to shield one Ice Punch. Could be a decent amount of damage. I just don't want to get straight hit by brines. But, man, Toxapex, super bulky Pokemon. And, you know, Manabuzz is bulky, Lickitung is bulky, but Toxapex, it really, I mean, it's in a shell for a reason. This thing is definitely a strong Pokemon. So, obviously, I did catch a Sludge Wave in that first game, but I don't know. This one's looking not as good. So, we are going to just stay in this matchup, and I think I saved my energy. Yeah, he swaps back over to Medicham. Honestly, this Body Slam is not a big deal where I throw it, to be honest, but the bigger problem is I'm down shields. And he still has a shield, and that Toxapex has a scary amount of health. I just didn't want to CMP there, so going for a little optimization. But man, this Ice Punch is putting me so low at this point. Yeah, and then unfortunately, I do need to land a Dark Pulse. We do get the shields, but yeah, I just can't get to move. So, we go to a decisive game number 3, the final game in the finals, and he leads the Heliolisk again. I do get an even better lead matchup this time. He's probably going to go for a Breaking Swipe, but that's fine. And now he swaps over to Medicham. So, I know I'm debuffed, but I'm just throwing a Psychic anyway. I just want to chip it, and then now I come in with the Lickitung. I know that he doesn't have Dynamic Punch, so I'm in an okay position to finish off this Medicham at this point in time. That chip damage was just everything I needed. And now we get, we're in a good spot. So this time we finally make the adjustment. We bring the Shadow Alolan Sandslash. That Toxapex has been a huge nuisance. I need to handle it somehow. The only other possibility he might have in the back deck could potentially, well, yeah, if it's an Umbreon or Lickitung, different situation because I'm just so low, which is why I do shield Medicham just in case. But ends up being the Toxapex, and we make the adjustment we need. And we're in a good spot. So, yeah. If it was a Charizard, would have been fine, too. It was really Lickitung or Umbreon would have been tough. But I think Umbreon, he's just scared to bring because I brought Metacham and Carbink into almost every game, and Carbink looks just so safe in his team. And then, like you're telling, he did bring that first game and maybe in the first series, but yeah, I just noticed Toxis was a huge problem for my team. But yeah, we finish it off. We end up sweeping the whole tournament, and honestly, this team looking really, really solid. I have no idea how Clodsire is going to look before Community Day. If it comes out with the most OP movesets, this team might be obsolete. But until then, this is a really good team. I know we have Toronto Regionals coming up for any Play Pokemon official, like big tournaments, regionals or internationals. And then obviously there's a lot of local cups and challenges probably around the North America area. So if you decide to run a team, give this one a shot. I think it's really, really solid. I think it had a lot of play into everything. I felt pretty good. Even my losses against EightTheGreat, I felt pretty good in. You know, I just got outplayed a little bit and just kind of got outbulked by his Carbink too. So, but yeah, I think Carbink's the real deal. I think a lot of people were hesitant to run it or thought it was too hard to build around, but I think this team is really, really solid. And if you decide to run it in your future tournament, the same team or some variation of it, let me know. Let me know how it goes. If it doesn't do well, my apologies for the bad recommendation, but in my opinion, I think it's quite good. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Shout out to our local tournament organizer, James Ablation, for hosting the tournament. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time.